Hey community, here's what's brewing today.
Serena slams.
The Gaybaiting VMAs.
And Ask Yo Aunteas talking shit. So get your cups ready for Minoritea Report. Hey, welcome to Minoritea Report. It's Auntie Carell.
It's Auntie Jarrell.
And it's Auntie Landon filling in for the amazing Auntie Dewan.
Yeah, Auntie Dewan out here
wasn't ready
jet
to go
setting.
second. I was
Right?
looking at Landon like, go bitch. I was like, oh wait.
It's like, oh, it's me. Right? I know. Yeah, hey, Dewan out there living his best Italian Vogue life.
No, that's right.
Yes.
I can't wait for her to come back with all the stories too.
I know, that's what
Because the
I'm
last
doing.
time she went on vacation, whoop, we were
She was
live.
out there acting reckless.
Okay.
Or reckless for Auntie Sharp. She's not the most
Yeah.
reckless human being on earth.
Right.
But her being
And
up
she
on
was-
tables and opas, it's like,
Right.
okay.
Yeah, she'd be like, oh, my best life. Okay?
Yes. So we miss you, boo. And then Auntie Landon is on his AirPods this episode. We're having some technical difficulties, so that's why it might sound a little crunchy at times. It is what it is. So
It is what it is.
I mean, she sounds like normal to me.
Ooh, I'll let y'all deal with that.
You know what? I'm not wasting my time on insignificant little
Alma, check your
people.
battery. I can't hear you. Alma, check your battery.
I'm hanging up. That's it.
There go the crunch.
Okay.
There go the crunch. Oh, Lord. But yeah. How y'all doing tonight, though, nonetheless?
I mean, the reality is, community, we were all postponing this because Serena was playing.
Yes.
And I literally messaged at like, well, I think it was like 2 o'clock my time, maybe 3 o'clock. I said, so Serena's playing while we record. We might have to change it to a different day.
Right.
I was like,
it's a late night recording.
it's a child for me. I can't miss it.
I know I didn't want to miss it either, but I was just like, I just knew the rest of my week. I was like, I ain't about to sacrifice my Labor Day for it. Sorry, Serena.
Look, y'all would have saw me. Look, we would have kept recording. I would have been like this.
Right, same here. I was like, that was my plan. I was like, have it on one screen and be like, we should have commentated the match. That would have been kind of a cute episode. Be like, okay, what our thoughts are watching a Serena match.
Yeah. Nah, because let me tell you, it would have been like an episode when Dewan took that edible. Because we
Right.
Oh my God, I know she did it. Like, it would be quiet, and all of a sudden we would be yelling.
Right.
It would have been a mess. It would have been a mess.
Funny.
But I'm glad she got that win. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, she got a tough ass draw. Like,
yeah.
hey.
And community, we're recording on a Monday night, so it's earlier in the week. So by the time this episode comes out, we don't know what the results are going to be at all. But at least she got through that first round, and we're happy for it. And you could tell she was excited too at the end, like the jump she did and like the little smile. Like you could tell, like it meant a lot to her.
What, her second win in in 4 tournaments?
In like 15 months.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, literally since I want to say like April of last year.
Yeah.
So like it's been a while for her, and you can tell how she's playing that she just don't got the games in her. But
she was still hitting the shit out the ball.
I was about to say though, I was gonna say the second set though. The first set, I was like, "Oh Lord!" I was like, it's gonna be a sad episode, y'all. I'm gonna get my emo boy out. She gonna be going through. Let me tell you, I'm actually drinking one of these THC like soda waters. I don't know if y'all can see
What's a THC soda water?
Yeah, it has THC in it. It got some weed in there.
Lavender. Okay.
Not the weed water, though.
Yes,
Right, the weed water.
Soda water. Because the
got that herbal water.
The nerves were wrecked. So I was like, you know what? Let me just sip on this so I don't lose my mind.
Right.
But
so just to make sure that I understand the sports, stuff. Let me make sure that I have it right. So,
okay, here we go.
so she's retiring.
She's evolving.
Okay. And then okay. And then she's like, she didn't do Wimbledon, right?
She did do Wimbledon.
And she lost
She
in the
did.
first round.
Lost in the first round, yeah.
Okay. All right. See, that's why I'm just a little recap. And then she, like, this is, like, she's not retiring right now, but after, like, whether she wins or loses, if she wins, she's like,
She's
moving
done.
forward.
And then if she, yeah, in the tournament, correct.
The tournament.
Yeah, she's not going to just win the first round and be like, you know what, bye, bitch.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I got it.
Yeah. So this is the last tournament. She's doing singles and doubles, so that's cute to be able to see Venus and Serena do doubles again, because we haven't seen that in a minute, especially at a Grand Slam. So that's going to be cute to see them together. I hope Venus comes back. Like, we need to have a separation of church and state. We need to have a Serena moment and a Venus moment. Like, they both deserve their own distinct moments. And I hope Venus doesn't say, you know what, I'm done too. And being the bigger sister, giving Serena the shine that she kind of normally is used to doing all her life. I hope she doesn't do that.
Yeah, from the U.S. Open press conference that they did last week, Venus didn't have any mentions of really not, continuing to play. She actually talked about how she was an executive producer on a Hallmark movie that's actually coming out too.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So she said she enjoyed that, and that may be her next thing. Who knows? Maybe she'll get into that more.
I hope it's like a year from now.
Yeah. I need at least 12 months.
Because I need a distinct Serena moment, and I need a distinct Venus moment to say bye. And you know what really, really hit me watching this match tonight more than anything was just how many Black people, are at these matches that we never saw before them.
Yeah.
That crowd was lit. And how Black people are. We'll make us a T-shirt in a heartbeat.
And a sign.
Don't forget a sign. Queen Latifah's hoodie. I said, okay, did she get that from the website, or did someone make that? Because honey.
And so I was like, just the energy. I was like, we're not going to see this for a while. I hope people realize, okay, we got a Coco, and she's 18, and she's starting to play now. And I hope the folks that Serena and Venus brought into the sport and that energy stays for like a Coco and even like a Naomi and whoever's coming up, that we keep these matches diverse, that we keep that energy that we distinctly bring as a culture to this sport, that it just doesn't go away and becomes like a white man or woman or they sport after they retire or evolve.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. It's gonna be hard to see tennis and not think about her. And the truth of the fact is, when she wasn't playing, I wasn't even checking for tennis like that. So now I'm like bummed because I was watching Naomi, Madison, Coco, Sloane. I'm checking for the sisters, and that's it. But when Serena's playing, I normally watch the whole tournament because I'm checking out for the bitches. All right, who we got to beat next, girl? who about to get these hands next? You know, so I would normally watch the whole tournament. But now I'm just like, dang, it's just gonna be on a case by case, player by player type thing. The rest of the sisters on the
I've been still watching, but it's probably not been 100% when it's them. But it's still probably been a good 75%. I'm still, and it might be because I'm still Team Rafa all day, and he's having a crazy year. But it's just once this generation of players leave, it is going to be kind of a lull for me probably. I'm rooting for obviously Coco. I still want Sloane and Madison to still do well, obviously. But on the men's side, it might. I don't know who I'm going to be rooting for yet. Maybe Alcaraz because I like his play and he cute.
I still like Felix from Canada. I'm still.
Oh, and I like Coric too. I like that Coric is back. He's cute as shit.
Cute.
Golly.
Not the golly.
Ooh, God, when you don't know what to say, you just ooh, golly.
What do you think about Serena's outfit for the U.S.
I called her Billie Jean. I was like, okay, Billie Jean. And not Billie Jean King. I'm talking about was not my lover.
Yeah. I can't.
What'd you think?
I don't know. I mean, like, she likes her like a tutu moment.
Yeah,
so
she does.
Like, you know, okay. I was like, this is all right. This is it for her. I don't know though.
She
but
said, "I'm gonna put the sparkles in my weave and everything."
I was like, Lord Jesus. I said, okay, now.
That's how you know she from Compton.
If she come out in a bob next, you know why? Because that shit didn't come out the week.
Honey,
okay?
didn't.
It stayed in that wig.
Well, you know the front is hers, so she just slicked the front back. So she just put that little weave in the little ponytail back there. So she just taking that little connect off. It's good.
Not the boop. There it is.
Put it on stand at night.
Look, okay.
She good. But yeah, no, I'm glad that she at least got one win. And again, we're recording so early in the week that we don't know the results. Hopefully she's still in it. Hopefully she find a way to win the whole damn thing. That'd be crazy. Yeah. But it's just gonna be tough. Like, I mean, she's 41. That's the other thing. Like, people be forgetting, like, she's 41. Yeah. Like, Carell at 38, some mornings the body be waking up. I'm like, you know what?
Listen, these knees. The face might be 25, but the knees. Oh, I know. Is he talking about me?
Yeah, your whole facts.
Oh, I know you're not talking about nobody's mileage. Mm-hmm. I know you're not talking about nobody's mileage.
The 26K.
With the good knees.
Okay.
I still got with the good knees. Okay, look.
Okay, if you say so.
Ooh,
and
the comedian again, that's gonna be.
I got a man you can ask about the good knees too, bitch.
Ooh, damn. Okay. Ooh.
I do a tune-up every fall.
You need to do it a little bit more.
He said, "I got that Midas touch, ho."
Get in the zone.
No zone.
Not for Riley's Auto Parts, though.
Ooh. Ho Riley is Ho Riley's.
Ho Riley. The fact that there are so many jingles from like the 90s, 2000s that live rent free still in my head.
1000%.
Pop up. I'm like,
1000%.
Say one word.
You got the whole jingle. I know they don't got jingles like they used to. They need to bring them shits back. That and a TV theme. They don't do TV themes anymore. Like, literally would have a whole bop of a song at the beginning of the episode.
It'd be 5 minutes long. It'd be 5 minutes long. The Family Matters opening theme.
That's repetition in this day and age.
Right.
Read any good news on the newspaper page. I'll just say it. A whole ass bop of a song. But yeah, so Serena, thank you. I mean, there's no other words just to say, but simply thank you for just simply being.
Yes.
You know?
Absolutely.
So.
Oh my God, can we talk about the commercial for Gatorade that Beyonce narrated too? Let me tell you, I was watching the VMAs and I said, wait, is that my
honey?
Is that my queen?
And then I was
like,
stops.
and then I'm like looking at the commercial. I'm like, wait, is that so? Pause, rewind this bitch. I said, no. And then Finn started doing it. I said, can you not? I am I said, I'm so sorry, babe, but this is important. It is Beyonce and Serena.
Yes,
like
literally.
I mean, it's just.
It's like, and you ain't missed nothing in the VMAs, no way. So,
that was the highlight, okay, of the VMAs. Okay?
Seriously, you ain't missed nothing in the VMAs, no way. And the funny thing is, so I was at the Lady Gaga concert. We'll get to that a little later in the episode. During the VMAs, and so where she did the concert was in Hershey, PA, which is about an hour 45 from Philly. Mm-hmm. And so on the way back, because I had recorded, and I was able to get through that whole VMA on the ride back because I was like, oh, fast forward through that.
Fast
not
forward
good.
through that. This ain't it.
Not good.
And I was like, is it not it, or am I just at that age that it's just I'm not in that VMA as that mode or that demographic as often anymore as when I was like 18 to like, I don't know, 30 or something like that. I don't know.
Didn't nobody really perform like that though? It was like the weirdest thing. The only people I thought that did good was Blackpink. them little girls stay and they
them. I was like, oh, they could have gave a little more because they normally do.
Well, see, what's the thing? This is their first U.S. like performance because they really blew up during the pandemic. So like I was like, it's okay. It's their first
the benefit
one.
Of the doubt.
This makes sense. Kind of like Chloe's first recital.
Yeah,
it was very much that. So I'm giving them the benefit of that. But even then, they were still hitting their A counts.
Yeah,
they were.
Korean pop be on it.
Bitch,
Korean pop choreography. Don't fuck with them. They
don't mess around.
Look. The whole girl microphone came. She said, kept it. Look, kept it.
Seriously,
kept it in place.
She said, "I seen them Janet Jackson videos."
Look. Kept it in.
I would say, they weren't probably in my top. Anita was in my top. She probably gave the best one to me
because she didn't sing.
You right, but she was serving ass.
She did serve ass, but the bitch
she was getting it. I was like, okay.
She did not sing live
not
at all.
Oh,
and there was a couple times where she dropped the mic before the lyrics, before the trapes stopped. I was like, girl.
She said English is not my native language. She said, leave me alone.
Damn.
Even Nicki's low key, and I like me some Nicki.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It wasn't it.
No, not it.
I was actually okay with Nicki just because she rapped.
You're right. She rapped live.
She rapped live. And I was like, okay, she still got the cadence. Even going back to Monster and Roman's
Bees
Revenge.
In the Trap. Bees in the Trap.
Like all of the stuff that we known for her from when she first came out and she was spitting. She was able to keep up with that. And that I was like, you know what? Cool. I mean, she ain't as snatched as she used to be.
But I mean, she had a baby. And all that extra Brazilian butt lifts and titties and everything. We gonna leave. I ain't gonna talk about no woman's body, so I'm done with that combo. Yeah. But I like the wig though. I was like, oh, let me borrow that wig right quick.
And I like the look with the contacts too. The contacts with the cat eye. I was like, okay, bitch. I was like, we see you.
That's cute.
Yeah,
that's cute. Did you like Lil Nas outfits? Plural. He had the one with he came on the red carpet with the big almost feather sundial moment.
Who had it at the Met Gala? Someone, I forget I don't know where my phone is. Someone
I know who you're talking about.
A gold one like that.
Was it Iman?
I think it was.
I think it was Iman.
I think he was Iman, and it looked identical to that. And I was like, that's cute.
Yeah,
that's cute. I like that. The other,
and then the ones with the holes, with the holes in the dress that he accepted the award, and I'm like, that's not my favorite.
I mean, I thought it was okay because she got a little body underneath there. So, she showed do. She's trying to show it off. So I was like, I get it.
Hell yeah.
I mean, if women can wear cutouts, they got on the sides, they got body. I was like, you know what? Show them obliques, bitch. Show them abs.
At least he got nominated. At least he got nominated and actually won something compared to how they kind of dogged him on the BET Awards where he didn't get nominated at all. It's a bunch of bullshit, but that's a whole different story. Did we talk about that on the podcast? We were going to, right?
Yeah,
and we never did. You did?
Okay.
Yeah. Just not cool.
How do you feel about the whole thing with Bad Bunny kissing the male dancer?
I don't care. Let him kiss who the fuck he want to kiss.
I don't either. But I will say this though, I listen to a lot of Latin music, and there is this sense of
machismo.
Yeah, that comes with it from a male artist standpoint, and I like that he was just like, I don't give a fuck. It don't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, and I really really appreciate that. But some people are talking about people are jumping down Harry Styles' throat, being like he's gay baiting and stuff like that. And they were like, well, what's the difference from Bad Bunny doing something like this?
I heard that narrative. I feel like sometimes we just want a problem just to have a problem.
Well,
it's not that deep. Even if he is gay baiting, okay, so
what?
Britney and Madonna gay baited us. Then they lesbian baited them 20 years ago. Like, it is what it is. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like they want us to care more than what the moment really was.
Yeah.
So, like, if you felt gay baited, if you felt triggered by it, I'm sorry. I don't think that's what it was doing. I think he was just... Because Bad Bunny has had a consistent, habitual thing of fluidity. Like, I think... And he's been very vocal about supporting the LGBTQIA plus community. So I don't think it would be in his... Or I would at least not like to think to say, you know what, now I'm going to start gay baiting and start doing all this other shit that kind of goes against what he's kind of set a standard for the last however many years. But if that's the case, so what? He wanted to kiss a dude.
So what? So what?
He wanted to kiss somebody. And he kissed what I presume is a cis woman or whatever before that. So it's just like, I think his point was the fluidity line. And if I want to kiss a woman, if I want to kiss a man, so be it.
Do y'all not have an issue with gay baiting at all?
I'm finding, I'm shifting kind of on that. Before
shifting which way?
Shifting towards like, I don't got the energy to care too much.
Exactly. Like,
because it's just like, because I feel like sometimes gay baiting is just like where you're at personally in a situation too, you know, and it's just like,
what do you mean?
Like, I feel some things may trigger you. I'm trying to think of the right words to use. Some things might trigger someone depending where they're at in their life stage. And I feel like I'm at a point now where I can't take on too much. I genuinely don't, because I'm so cool with myself that, like, if you and the proverbial you, the hypothetical you, whoever it is, feel like you need to gay bait me, thinking it's going to get some reaction out of me, says way more on you than me. And if I give you the reaction that you want, then that's what they want. But like, if I'm looking like, okay, like, I got bills to pay, I got shit to do. Like,
exactly. Like, what's the point?
Exactly. What's the point? So I feel like I've kind of gotten to that stage of they want the attention and I'm not going to give it to them. Kind of thing. And obviously, and it depends on the situations. Some things are probably more needing a reaction than a kiss.
Like this one?
I mean, I'm a watch. I'm a gay bait along with it.
Shut the fuck up.
I mean,
I'm weak.
Oh Lord.
I'm weak. Oh my God.
So yeah. So I mean, gay bait. Like, I feel like if it's like gay baiting, like trying to downspeak on my community and things like that. Like, you're saying ill on my community.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to speak up. But like kissing and all the stuff and like the Harry Styles stuff. Yeah.
So what? Like, what they do on video music award shows, like, these bills still got to get paid. I still got to get up in the morning. I still got shit to do. So that has nothing to do with me. And even if Harry Styles was, you know, something other than heterosexual, he's not coming over to my house. So why do I care? Now, listen, he's not my type, but he's not.
Yeah.
We're just putting that out there. But I just don't. It's just
Harry, just to let you know, you're not my type, ho.
Yeah,
it's not my type.
Someone needs to be the top, Harry. Someone needs to be the top.
It's not gonna be you, bitch.
Duh, bitch. And I'm not coming over either. The Game of Thrones you talking about, bitch.
Thank God. Thank God.
That's shit in Alabama.
Right. And if you're a listener of Alabama, we love you nonetheless. Thank you. Please subscribe still. Please download.
No thanks, Harry.
Yeah, like, I guess what you thinking, Jarrell?
For me, like, I find myself kind of like not caring, but I tend to care because there are still so many people in the community who cannot be themselves without feeling in danger. Yeah. And for people who already have a huge platform to use something that people within the community can't use on a day-to-day basis just to live their authentic life is a little bit of a slap in the face. It really is. And there are so many people who have been hurt and killed and disenfranchised and all sorts of things for simply being gay, and for someone non-hetero to just use it as a gimmick to be seen. It's
marketing.
It's
as a marketing ploy. It's not cool.
And so that's why I was like curious to y'all's thoughts of it, because that's what gay baiting is. It's trying to get gay people to buy into whatever it is that you're trying to sell from the entrance of, you know, kind of gay culture. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like when white people take black people shit and then try to reinvent it and be like, oh, look what I can do. Like we were just talking about the what do we call it, the R&B, the gentrification R&B.
Gentrification of R&B, yeah. But here's the thing, I guess I'm still listening to Ariana and stuff like that. You know, but and here's maybe in my mind though too, it's just like it maybe the podcast has kind of shifted my narrative, because I know week in, week out we have a platform to continue to show a spectrum and to invite you into the community, to hopefully make you feel a little authentic about yourself and being able to be who you want to be in whatever situation and environment you're in. And a lot of times that's easier said than done. And I mean, we've all been there, and it's not to belittle the situation by any means, but I guess maybe that's where my mind has kind of shifted a little more. It's just like, hopefully if you feel like you're getting gay baited over here, come to Minority Report or come to whatever, you know, other community senses that will hopefully shine a light upon to show that there are spaces for you to feel like yourself 1000% all the way through. And that, because there's always going to be some kind of situation, always going to be some kind of gay baiting situation, some gentrification moment for the remainder of our lives, honestly, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And it's not going to go away. So it's just like, all I can control is the way I react and respond to it, and seek out the authenticity that I want, or at least that perception-wise that I want is being presented towards me one way or the other. So it's not, I hope it doesn't come across that I'm trying to belittle the situation by any means, because no, there are going to be folks that feel harm from it, that feel triggered by it. But for me, something, at least that particular situation, is not triggering me one way or the other, and I'm like, okay, I got other shit to do.
and it may be because we know that it might be a marketing ploy. Like what's happening on some of these award shows or in movies and whatnot. I know what that's about, so that's kind of why I say to myself, like, I don't care. But on the flip side, like, just the way what you two just said in regards to like how that might affect others who are in those communities where they can't express themselves freely, and then we have people on award shows just doing it just for what, shits and giggles, for a dollar. I care about it in that, like, I would never want someone to feel that way, but I also know what the reality is, in that y'all are just doing that shit for just for shine, and I just I'm not going to give that energy to it.
And that's why my energy I give to it is more so calling it out for what it is, not be like, oh my god, praising them for, oh my god, and kissing another guy, like, I
love it. Yes.
No, I spend my energy on just reminding people who are getting very caught up in this that, you know, it really could just be a marketing thing, and if it really is the case, like, that ain't cool. It's not cool, because you're using a group of people who identify as a way for you to get some attention. And like Carell talked about, like us and our platform, I expect people who have bigger platforms, who are celebrities, that are
to do more,
to have a higher fucking standard, and realizing the potential, the harm of their platform when they're using marketing that's not real and authentic. You know, like, you can be an ally, like he can be an ally and he can dress however he wants to, absolutely. But
he can't kiss a dude.
No. I'm just, and I was gonna say he can kiss
And it's like that's a hard thing. It's like where's that line?
But it's about intention, though. It's about intention, though.
So, but see, here's the thing. My line is not having at least the audacity to be like, this is who I am, and leave it at that. Whereas you just doing it and be like, oh, well, on to the next thing. You know, like that, I don't feel is cool. Like with Harry, like he was like, yeah, I felt like I don't need to like label anything and stuff like that. Like, I get that, but now it's starting to feel like you trying to have your cake and eat it too. Like you're trying to be in a see-through closet at this point, or you are using us to have your fame.
Yeah, I don't know. Especially when it comes to arts, I just struggle in that regard. That's where Carell's probably a little more gray than most people, just because sometimes when it comes to art, it's how you're literally feeling in that moment in time, and you're not thinking one way or the other. And it doesn't mean it's right, wrong, or indifferent, you know? Yeah, so I don't know. I just struggle. Say again?
I think it kind of does if it's right or wrong. Like, I think...
But, I mean, right and wrong is different to some people, is my point. And what he thinks is being free in that moment, it might be perceived by someone else as being gay baiting. And where's that line? And I get even the attention part, but even sometimes attention and perception, it all comes down to someone's perception. And so that's why I started off saying I think sometimes we want to dig deeper than what the situation really is to feel away and take a stance on something because I don't want to be gay baited. It wasn't even that deep to stand for, you know, at the beginning. And I don't know. So that's I don't know. That's where I'm at. It's just like I'm probably way more gray in some of that regard. If I do care for it. And in this regard, I'm like, kiss whoever you want to fucking kiss.
Yeah.
But Harry Styles, even Harry Styles, I haven't even given too much energy into because it's just like, we saw it with like a David Bowie before. And nobody was kind of giving him, oh, you're gay baiting us then. Like, they just let him be free. So there's a part of me.
Different then, though, too.
But it,
true, very true.
The world was definitely different then than it is
right,
now.
But I'm saying it's just like there's a freedom sometimes as an artist that you still strive towards that I think we still, even as a gay community, say this has to be gay, this has to be bi, this has to be straight. But then sometimes we're like, but we like fluidity too. It's like we can't preach fluidity and all this stuff in the spectrum and then start saying, oh, but that part of that spectrum is definitely gay because you wore that clothing or you kissed that person that day. And so that's where I kind of get lost in all of it, where it's just like, where are the lines then? Like, is it 60-40? Is it 70-30? Is, you know, and it's going to differ for each person.
I think that's part of the reason why we have so many different letters and the queer community for that representation alone itself. I mean, I think the line truly is, are you appropriating? Are you trying to come off as queer and using queer culture as a way to market?
But that's what I'm saying. What is queer even? Like, because like...
But when we stop at plus, at plus. And so there are a lot more things out there other than what we list.
Right.
So there is a lot more to it than that. And so there are definitions for all sorts of identifications.
But should there be? Maybe that's my question then. It's like, should there be? Now, if we're trying to preach more of fluidity and
there should
openness,
we have to again, in the same token when you're talking about fluidity, you know, and that being a form of identification, all the other ones has to be a form of identification as well too. Just like we have our pronouns of how we like to be addressed, it's the same thing when it comes to our sexual orientation. So like, it is okay to have those. I'm not saying that we need to put people in boxes, or I'm not saying that we need to force people to come out, but I think it's important to be cautious of using it, but also not being brave enough or just being honest enough to just say, hey, I am also part of the community. Like, if you are already gonna make out with someone on national TV like this, why not also say who you are?
Yeah, don't do it for the shock value. Don't do it for the shock value.
The shock value is already gone. So at that point, you might as well just say, I am XYZ. But
do they owe that to us?
It's not about... Yes.
Do they have
because of the platform? Because of the platform. The platform is what matters. It may not matter to every individual, but that's what I said. But that's what I said. It doesn't necessarily matter to every individual, because we know in our community, like you said, there's a spectrum. Some of us are fortunate enough to be in a place where we love ourselves and we're not triggered by certain things, but the whole community isn't like that. Yeah. And so our blessing, which is a blessing, it is a good thing that we are able to be in places where we don't have to have some of those sad stories that some people in our community have, where they don't have their family, they don't have the blood family, they are, you know, they just have their chosen family and all this other stuff. Some people don't have that. So we have to remember that for us, some of us are fortunate enough that we don't think about those things, but there's the other side to the coin where there are some people who should be accounted for.
And I think I'm not going to be swayed to that on that piece. And I hear it, and it doesn't mean that
I'm not saying to sway you. I'm just saying.
Yeah, and it's not that it's not that I don't agree with what you're saying. It's just that I feel sometimes, and I'm just trying to see how to even state it. In a way that doesn't come across like cavalier or anything like that. That sometimes it sucks that sometimes you do the work to get to a situation where you're good, and then everyone else's expectations is still for you to take on the work that they haven't gotten to yet, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that you're not aware and cognizant and empathetic and sympathetic to their situation. But like I was listening to this, and I wrote it down, and I was going to actually save it for an evergreen topic one day, but maybe this kind of fits in here. It was, oh God, what is his name? He's a Native American, and he said sometime, and he's like, he has this TV show now. It's on FX, and I'll look it up here when we probably get to Ask Yo Aunteas. But
what is it? Reservation Dogs? Is that what it is?
Yes. And he was doing an interview on NPR, and he was like, there's almost like this sense that anyone that has had a story or anyone that's a minority can't revel in their joy. And he's like in this situation where it's just like you do this work and you have these successes, but maybe other folks in your community don't see that same success. Because he was saying, his dad is a very prominent, oh God, what's the word I'm trying to look for? Because I wasn't even about to talk about this, so now my brain's all over the place. But he helps the Native community. What's someone that does out there and does speaking and stuff? What word am I looking for?
Like a spokesperson?
Not a philanthropist.
Yes, an activist and like there's another word I'm looking for, but an activist. And so he comes from just an activist household activist. So everyone in the Native community knows their family for this, yet he's having this success over here, even though he started as an activist. So he said he has this like this pull of saying, oh wow, like, because people are starting to look at me, maybe he's not an activist and maybe he ain't going to be speaking up because all he cares about is this comedy troupe and this new show and this a comedy show and this and that. And he's like, and it sucks to feel like here I'm having this success and being visible for my community as an actor and getting success over here. Yet there's other part of my community thinking I'm still not doing enough because I'm no longer, quote unquote, an activist in the regard that they see it. And so he said it's almost like this lack of joy. And he used a word. Let me look it up here real quick because I was like, wow. I was like, that's quite interesting. Colonization of joy. He said, so he's like, for so long we've been fighting against white people to be prominent and to have success and all of this. And then we get it, and we're learning that they even colonize the joy because you can't even experience the happiness because either people aren't at where you're at yet, or it's appearing the perception of I'm now belittling everyone in my community. And he's like, so you can't even enjoy the joyous parts. And it was just interesting how he said the colonialization of joy. And I was like, wow, I've never thought about that way. So that's kind of been on my mind the last month since I heard that interview, because I'm just like, where's that line of where you feel comfortable in yourself, where you're okay with yourself and things like that? And how do you still show that you're still repping for your communities and things like that, where certain things might not trigger you like it was, but it's like you're still there for your community. So that's where I'm still kind of this gray, and I don't know the answer. I'm just throwing it out there. But it's just like that for me is where I'm at, and it's just like I don't expect. I guess I'm in a space now where I don't even expect others to do the work for me. Like, and it's hard to just explain it. And like, we might need to bring this up another time too, because like I really want to formulate my thoughts on it too, because this is like live in the moment. It wasn't really a topic for today, but how do you still be joyous and okay, but still show and give the perception that you're still empathetic and sympathetic, the way that they need it still too, that you're not taking on more again that you already did the work for.
I guess two things I'll say to take away from this though, like one of the difference though is gay baiting isn't part of the queer community. When it comes to gay baiting, that is the straight people or people who do not identify of the queer community and using queer culture to then draw queer people in. Mm-hmm. That's gay baiting.
Right.
So when queer people are not excited about it, it's not because they're like, oh my God, he did something for us. It's you are trying to use us. And so you can't expect people from a community to be like, thank you, when you also like, you ain't did shit for us. Now, I think part of the reason why some of us would like for them to live their authentic self, or at least to say something, is because we would love to be like, hey, this is representation. We want to identify even that much more with you as a person from the queer community, and having that be a success of, you know, of that potential joy that could bring to the community.
Right.
But don't try to fake bring that out of us. Like, I don't want to fit there and be like, I'm proud of this queer person for doing this when they're not queer. Because then I'm just like, damn, that's like you being lied to. You're being bamboozled, you know? So like when it comes to queer baiting, I look at it very similar to when white people try to appropriate Black culture. It's a no, period. It's a no. Everything ain't for everyone. and I understand your question, and I don't know how to answer when you say, but where is the line? You know, because I think the line does vary from person to person, because we are a spectrum.
Right. Absolutely.
You know, so depending on where you are on the spectrum, your line may be different. But I think we still have to respect the whole fact that like there are multiple different lines. And just because it may not be crossing a line for someone doesn't mean it still doesn't cross a line.
And that's where I still struggle, because it's just like, where is the respect of saying, wow, Carell might have done the work to not to even feel like this is queer baiting, because it's not that deep, you know? And so that's
it's
where
not that deep to you. And that's
exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Exactly. We're saying the same thing on just the different side of the coin.
Yeah.
So I was understanding, or you said you didn't agree, because that I literally just said the same thing. Like the line moves. So just because
right, but I'm just saying
here.
But because your definition is it's definitely queer baiting, but for someone else it might not be queer baiting. And so where is that? Who gets to define what is queer baiting within the queer community?
And I said it's the individuals, because we are a spectrum.
So my response to that was, then I don't think it was queer baiting, but you do. Who is respecting who? Who has to respect who? I either need to hop over here or you need to hop over there.
But if you're not part of the community, well, let's
within the queer community though. That's what I'm saying. Within the queer community.
Within the community, I can't speak for a lot, but given the conversations of how this has been happening, the only people who are outraged is the queer community. So pretty sure the majority is going to land on the queer side, which is going to be on the opposing side than where you are. Because it's not the straight people fucking talking about it. It's the queer people talking about it. So that means you're on the side with the straight people who don't give a fuck.
But I'm within the queer community. I'm not straight. So
no. I'm talking about like the majority of where the conversation is coming from regarding that line of how much of it's queer baiting. Just, you know, some people are like, that's a little bit, man. Some people are like, oh, okay. And some people are like, oh, that's queer baiting, da-da-da. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, there are multiple lines, you know, there are multiple lines. And I think the line is the part that comes from pain, because it's easier for a person who's not affected by it to not care.
But that's the part I think that's where I think maybe is a misconception in the conversation is like, it's not that they don't care. They've done the work to get past the trauma of prior pain potentially. And so it's just like, you do all that work and you still want me to feel pain? No, that's why I did the fucking work. So I don't do that anymore.
Work and not want people who have not to do the work to also have a voice.
But then I don't want you to put it on me. I don't want you to put it not you. But like, I don't want you to say you still should feel this way because I do.
But
that's not going to work for me.
But no one was saying that, and no.
But then it's just like, because you're saying we need to respect all the pain. I had your pain. I know you didn't, and I had the empathetic. That's why I said earlier empathetic. Pain. But no, exactly. So then why can't you respect the pain that I had? And this is just a hypothetical statement.
But why can we expect
But I am. That's why I said empathetic and sympathetic earlier today.
Right.
During the conversation. Thank you, Landon, for hearing that. So you could be empathetic and sympathetic because that means you've either been through it or you can sympathize with it and you didn't go through it.
Or you can put yourself in someone's shoes. That's what empathy is. Empathy is about connection, and maybe I have not experienced that, but I can connect with you and try to understand. So
I guess that's what empathy is. Maybe I lost y'all somewhere because I wasn't talking about caring about other people's feelings. Okay. I wasn't talking about their pain. I was talking about just leaving room for people to have their own. I'm not saying that other people can't be empathetic or sympathetic. No one has said that at all whatsoever. Not once did I ever say that. What I'm saying is, if Corell, you would like for people to leave room for your feelings and the things that you've gone through, we still have to make room for those who have those feelings, and that is however they feel. And so, and so that's all that I'm saying is that it don't need to be a push.
No, I get that. Like, and I think we're saying the same thing. And I know DeJuan's probably rolling his eyes like, girl, y'all said the same thing the whole damn time.
Really quick. Look at the flip side of this, where when Lil Nas but when he started to, come out with his music and everything, everybody was like, oh, he's doing too much, he's extra. So it's like, we can't win. Like, if we have someone like Lil Nas X, who is very proud and very bold in what he does and how he does it, it's too extra, it's too gay, it's too this, he needs to tone it down. It's like, we can't win. So
that's
those people who...
That's not gay baiting, baby.
No, what I'm saying is the conversation. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is in the whole conversation, people are saying, oh, this is gay baiting over here. This is gay baiting over here. But when we actually have someone within our community doing that, then it's too much. So there's always going to be these people, there are always going to be these people who are just not going to like whatever it is and always have those opinions. And that's really what this is about. This is about conversations and different perspectives. So I understand actually what both of you are saying. I think you're saying the same thing, and I get it. It's conversation is where you really, when you start to connect with people and you start to try to understand, that's where you can maybe define those lines.
Yeah,
absolutely. 100%.
So, all right. Well, we said we're going to try to keep this episode short. It ain't going to be a short one. So we're going to take a quick little tea break and we'll be back with the Ask Yo Aunteas.
Yes.
We interrupt this episode for very important information.
That's right. You've been asking for it for a long time, and we have heard you.
Yep. It's been a long time coming, but it's finally here.
Yo Aunteas
got
merch! Hey! That's right. You know what? We got tees, we got long tees, we got sweatshirts, we got fanny packs, there's just a whole gamut of stuff out there. So go and check that out.
We are so appreciative of your love and support, and we are so excited to launch it. Girl, where can we find it at?
Ma'am, they can head right over to MinoriteaReport.com to check out the selection.
That's right. That's MINORITEA report.com.
Woo! I'm about to go get me some myself.
We said that
I'm over here just Judge Judy, just listening to the tennis match right here. I said, you know what? And I was legit listening. I was like, okay, they're saying the same thing, and I'm trying to maybe figure out how I can get how I can verbalize what you're both saying. I was like, fuck it. Like, fuck it. I ain't got it tonight.
I ain't got it. All right, ladies, what time is it? Ask
your
Aunties.
Ow.
All right, this one says, "Hey, aunties, I need your advice. I was at the bar the other night, and excuse me, I burped. I was at the bar the other night, and the conversation came around to a guy we all know, and I thought we all liked. But the trash talk became so intense, I finally excused myself to go to the bathroom in the hope that they'd be finished by the time I got back. I really don't get why us gays, and again, supposedly friends of this person, feel okay about ripping someone a new one just because they're not there to defend themselves. What's that about? And how can I let them know that what they're doing is anything but cool without becoming the guy they talk about when I'm not there?"
You need to stop worrying about that last part and just speak your truth in like, hey, like this conversation or XYZ, whatever your opinion is, however you feel, speak about it. Don't worry about what other people are going to think about you speaking up. That's why you have a voice. Jarrell, you were going to say something.
Oh, no, I wasn't. I was like, yes, I was agreeing with you where you were
going.
Yeah,
I was like, yeah. That part at the end just, so what if they talk about you, what, for defending your friend? That's what friends do. So if you have to go to your friends and say, hey, that conversation made me a little uncomfortable, here's why, like, whatever it may be, speak your truth and defend your friend. If you are going to be that friend to both of those groups, that one individual that wasn't there and the group that was talking shit, be a true friend and have those real conversations and just be like, hey, I wasn't cool with that conversation. Like, is there like, how can we not do that anymore?
Mm-hmm. You know, this is crazy. As you were reading, I was like, did one of my friends in this sound? Because like, I've been in a couple of groups now here in Seattle specifically where I've noticed stuff like this starting to happen within my friend groups. And I've had to have conversations about like, one, you know, all this is just wasted breath because you're not saying it to a person who you might want to change something. And maybe you saying something actually might be the catalyst that actually changed the thing that you don't like about them. I was like, and also, this also shows your lack of willingness to also try to make the situation better too, because all you're doing is talking about it behind their back, and that's it. So I've literally been talking about with some people here that I've hang around with about the whole notion of like, if you can't say something to that person's face, that means you have something unresolved that you need to finish to feel comfortable enough and secure enough to have that conversation with that person. And a lot of that starts with people's inability to have effective communication, with saying something that may be harmful without actually hurting a person. You can give someone your opinions or your feelings without making someone feel like shit. It's all about your word choice. So I think a lot of people may need to learn how to be able to express themselves and communicate. And that's one of the things that I pride myself on, being that type of friend, is like, at least with me, you will never have to understand where you stand with me, because I will always make sure to say it directly to you. And I'm also that person who speaks up when people aren't around to, hey, that's not what I'm about. And I don't tolerate that. Y'all can go talk about that when I'm not around. But what you're not going to do is put me in the middle of some shit, and now I'm gonna have to check you, and that's between you. But now you're making me check you because you want me to play your little kitty game of not liking someone, but that ain't got shit to do with me.
With you,
yeah. No, that's how I am. Like, people that know me, I don't do it. And I think part of it is just in a weird way started just foundationally from church, be like, don't gossip and all that stuff. So like, it was like kind of drilled in me. But even to now, like, I just find it very, oh God, just very, it just shows a lot about you. We'll say it that way. Because it's just like, I get sometimes people want to vent. I get that. 1000%, you know. But there's a thin line between you just venting about the situation and venting in a way where, like, I could tell you ain't even talked to them about this shit, and now, like, you just down, like, talking down to them, and you know I'm friends with this human being,
right?
Like, so you don't respect my time and my relationships, nor yourself, honestly, because, like, now everybody looking at you crazy, like, okay, if you're saying this shit with them not here, what you talking about me here? And so I always speak up about it. I'm like, it's like, we either not gonna do this with Carell here. No, you're not. No, I'm good. Or I'm just gonna...
in Carell's famous words, I stay out of grown folks' business.
I do because, and then this might even come back to, like, Jarrell's statement earlier. It's just like, I don't know what they are going through. So I'm not going to sit here and waste time and try to make assumptions about something that I really wasn't there for, nor honestly got the time to care too much, because you ain't talked to them. So you need, like...
Shut up. Go ahead.
Oh, no. So, I mean, just, like, for them to talk this intensely, like you said, that, like, so intense, okay, clearly they have an issue that they need to go sort out. And I'm glad you kind of excused yourself. But I think the next step in that statement is just, like, if it still make you feel that uncomfortable, like, hey, y'all, okay, if y'all want to talk about this, like, can y'all do it when, like, either I'm gone, like, check please, or like, because it's just not cool. And at least state your piece there. That way, from here on out, if you continue to hang with this group of friends, that they know next time Carell's in the room, oh, we ain't talking about that when Carell here. Right. We ain't doing that. And that's a respect level, hopefully, that they afford you. And if not, then it might be time to change that circle up, because they're not respecting what you need to keep your peace and what your moral standard is.
Absolutely. Right. And honestly, that's the reason why I would worry about that last part when he says, or they say, you know, becoming that guy they talk about when I'm not there. I would honestly say, if expect them to automatically do, if you know people talk about, if you know someone's...
They talking about you.
Right. If you know that they talk about other people when they're not there, they are talking about you.
Yep.
Already assume it. Assume it. They are talking about you. And if they can't respect, you know, not doing that when you're around, then I think you need to start excusing yourself from the situation and just being like, you know what, that's the same. And now from Carell's part, that I don't got the time for it. That ain't where my energy at.
It really isn't.
You know, adult friendships and relationships require grace, and grace is grace is available to all. And and I'll never forget, a friend of a friend said this. I can't even remember what the context was, but he said, grace is available to all. It serves its greatest purpose when it is given to those who least deserve it. And we all have benefited from some grace. So 1000%. Acknowledge, like, okay, you know what? I'm going to give my friends a little bit of grace. I'm going to step off to the side. I'm going to go to the restroom, take a breather. I give you props for whoever wrote this, for excusing yourself from the situation, because you don't know how you're going to react, and giving yourself that grace. And then if it happens again, or if you just want to address it, none of us are perfect. We all make mistakes. We do things that we do things that maybe we just realize aren't cool in the moment, and then later on we're like, damn. And maybe that's what your friends need. Maybe they just need that one-on-one connection, like, yo, so-and-so, the other night, what was that about? And like, this is gonna sound so HR-ish, but have that feedback. Like, you gotta be able to have those honest conversations with your friends. Otherwise, they are not friends.
Facts.
Plain and simple.
Facts.
Yeah. And I like how you said that, like, to have that one-off, or even if it's like a bunch of y'all there, having it another time, because what you don't want to do is go back to some other friend and start doing what you just said you don't like them doing. So you don't want to do that. But, you know, at some point you're going to have to acknowledge it and speak up for, at least at minimum, for what you need. And if they talk about you for it, it is what it is. Like, you can't control that piece of it, but at least you have the peace of knowing, hey, that bothers me, and I don't like associating with folks that do that. And saying your piece, and what comes out of it, honestly. And a lot of times you'll find out they were just having a bad day. They were having an event moment. And so at least now they know, A, you don't stand for that. And then B, like, Landon was saying, that element of grace that you afforded them, just saying, okay, you know what, they did have a bad day. They was venting, they was like fed up and things like that. And we've all been there. We've all been there, 1,000%. Yeah. And sometimes I listen to our Ask Yo Aunteas. I'm like, ooh, we be sounding like the PR, like the PC police. Like, bitch, no, we all been there and fuck up and do shit that, like, we look back like, damn, that ain't cool for real. Like, that's not what I'm gonna stand for. So, like,
I will say, I've been called out by someone about, like, oh, so did you say such and such about me when I wasn't there? And I was like,
it's like, damn, I did, huh?
And I was like, you know what, you're right. And literally I was like, you know what, that was not cool of me, but here it is. Like, this is the shit that's bothering me. And it was a conversation that needs to be had. And we end up ending our friendship, but it ended on the terms of, this isn't something that's going to work for the both of us. Not, oh, you were doing something shady. It was, I said my piece, and that person was like, well, this is who I am. And I was like, well, hey, that's cool. I'm not gonna knock you. And so we never been friends since, you know, and we had like 8 years of friendship, and that had to go, you know. So I can say I've experienced that, like, it also can be a little humbling once you get called out for not being a good friend. And it was in that moment where I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna be that person again. Like, if I really want to be the best version of myself, then I need to have the courage to say how I feel to the people that need to hear it.
Yeah. Because that's the only way, either, like you said, either the friendship is done or the friendship continues on in a better form. That's the only way. And it's hard, though. That's stuff that we all really don't get taught in our lives. You know, like, you try to you either emulate what you saw at home or your friend group growing up or whatever it is, or try to emulate what's on TV, and sometimes that ain't even the right way to do it either. And so sometimes these are just lessons you have to learn along the way, and those are some scars that, you know, come along the path of life that you just have to learn, and either you learn from it, or sometimes it take a couple times, you know, just like, shit, I got a slick ass mouth, like, let me it's like, shit, okay, Corel, like, if that's the feedback they continue to give you, okay, there's always a little truth in it, so fix what you don't, like, fix what makes you uncomfortable from hearing it, you know, and that's all you gotta do. So that's a cool question, though, because
that's a very good question.
We haven't had one like that in a while. So community, thank you for stepping up and sending some of these questions in. Hey, continue to do so.
Would also love to get an update on this one, because finding out, like, if you have those conversations with either that one person or, you know, the other people that were within the group that were maybe talking, and you didn't feel that didn't feel right with your spirit, and you had to say something. Like, would love to hear, like, what the follow-up is. And guess what? Even if you didn't or don't do anything, that's okay too. At least you asked, and you can reflect back at that moment and say, you know what? If it happens again, now I know what I might do.
So continue to send your Ask Yo Auntie questions to aya@minorityareport.com or DM us.
Oh my God, you did it this time.
Yeah, I know, right? It's been a minute. The last, like, 30 episodes, been struggling to get that out. I don't know why. It's like after 187 episodes, you start to, like, try to put a twist on it, and then you know, like, ruin yourself up. Like when DeJuan was trying to put a twist and he started laughing at monkeypox.
Oh yeah.
That shit was funny. I was like, damn, not monkeypox though. Oh man. Well, community, you know what? It's late. Serena, we're still rooting for Serena. That's why, you know, it's a late night recording. But Landon, you'll be back next week, right? DeJuan will still be on his little fantasy love boat tour.
I saw him. So, like, being back in New York, I saw him and Adam last weekend, and then last night, and we've just been chilling. They got a beautiful rooftop, and so we were just chilling. And I said, you know, safe travels, and it was good to see them and kind of hug them. Because, like, over the past, like, month is probably, I've seen DeJuan more times than when I first met him in 2019. You know, it's been nice to hang out with him and Adam. So yeah, safe travels, guys. Happy to, can't wait to see all the photos and all the places that they're gonna go and hear all the stories.
I know that.
Now Landon texted me last night, like, when you gonna come visit us? I said, we can't wait to come visit them soon.
No, you need to start off. What you need to start off is, I said, hey, when is Fizz gonna come and visit us? I said, I guess you too.
Said.
Yeah, I guess you too.
So I was like, we can't wait to see them soon.
Right. Because Landon live in Connecticut. Because Landon live in Connecticut.
Nobody's fucking Connecticut.
Ooh, you getting extra crunchy right now. It might be time to go.
It's that Connecticut Wi-Fi.
It's that right, that Connecticut Wi-Fi, or wherever you're at, in Chicago right now.
Yes.
But happy Labor Day. Hopefully you get the little, rested up before like the pumpkin spice season. We'll talk about pumpkin spice next week. Because Landon don't like pumpkin spice. And
happy birthday to my husband, because it will be his birthday too.
Oh, happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Fizz! Hey,
we love you,
Beefy Fizz. That's what I call him now. I'll call him Beefy Fizz. He be in that
gym. He had his arms all out at the wedding with that velvet cut off. I was like,
go ahead, Fizz.
Come up missing if you want to.
He said, I'm feeling comfortable in my body yaddy now. Come on now.
Look, I said, you download all those mystery audiobooks to my audio account. I'll be taking notes.
On the podcast, because I will testify against your ass.
We know.
Continue to wash your hands, your legs, and your ass. We'll see you next week.
Bye.